What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Vancouver's Worst Drivers. But instead of Vancouver, today is going to be a special episode because it's the first BC wide video. That's right, this footage is from all over BC. I just want to thank everybody for sending in their submissions, and do me a huge favor and send this video to people you know across the province who have dash cams and complain about bad drivers in their area, because I'd love to get footage. It took me a really long time to get all this footage, so I'd hope to be doing this video more often. But let's start off with this video from Christopher in Langford. Now, as you can see, this van backs up right into this white SUV and just drives off. And the other drivers just assume he's going to, leave a note and insurance papers, but of course not, because there are people who are selfish out there. And the funniest thing is this guy just inspects the damage on his car, which can't be more than a few $1,000s, to be honest. The car that he hit, Kia Sorento, looks a little bit more expensive, but he's only concerned about the damage on his car. There's a reason why double yellow lines exist, and to cross over it around a corner is just a disaster ready to happen. And then talking about disasters, this video was recorded in Prince George, where this driver crossed the line ever so slightly, but resulted in a huge crash. This is the damage to the truck after this incident. Just basically ripped off the tires off the side. And check out the damage to the vehicle. I can't remember if anybody was seriously injured in this accident, but man, just another reminder just to stay vigilant when you're driving. Up next, we got this video from Car 97 in Blue River, where this truck is overtaking another truck around a corner. Just such a dumb idea. And take a look at this guy. He's still driving on the wrong side of the road. Anonymous had the unfortunate pleasure of being almost squished by this truck as they turned left, and it's just kind of bizarre to me because they end up hitting Anonymous, then driving back into the lane that they were originally in. And you can see on the right there, that merge sign is not for another 200 meters. He had time. And then another video from Car 97, this time in Golden, BC. And again, another truck driver trying to overtake because he's in such a rush. Like, buddy, just settle down and don't kill people. This photo is pretty self-explanatory, unfortunately, for his RCMP officer in Nanaimo. And it must have been one of those situations where he's focusing too much on his donuts or he's coming off night shifts or something, but it's gotta be embarrassing for him. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to observe one of the slowest merges in the history of merges in the history of mankind ever. Mike recorded this driver in Merritt driving on the wrong side of the road, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're trying to overtake. I just don't think they know where the line is. These kind of videos make my blood boil because there is no one, absolutely no one in that left lane, yet Sean is trying to merge here. Sean's in this position for a while in this lane, and this driver is still going to force their way in. As many of you know, one of my biggest pet peeves is people who don't have accountability. Like this woman right here. She forces her way in, runs a red light. Sean honks at her, and she's acting as if she got punched in the face, flipping him the bird. For what? Because she ran the red light? So here's a tip. If you're going to cut somebody off, just go into the lane that's closest to you and don't do some sort of crazy moves like this, because you're just going to end up in an accident. It's funny because I thought drivers driving down the bike lanes was a Vancouver thing, but I guess it's also a Victoria thing. And again, it's so confusing how this driver doesn't know it's a bike lane when there's a dotted yellow line right down the middle underneath their vehicle. Up next, check out this insane video from David on Bombi Pass. This rock flies off a cliff out of nowhere and then ends up hitting the side of David's truck. Take a look at the damage. Now, in the video, the rock doesn't look that big, but it must have been pretty enormous to cause this much damage. Up next, we got a couple of snow videos, starting with this one from Philip, where this truck loses control and ends up in the snowbank, and it looks like their back end isn't weighted enough because they're just slipping and sliding everywhere. And then this video in Whistler, you can tell this driver's driving too fast, not enough time to brake, almost ends up hitting Steven, but fortunately misses him. But ends up turned around, maybe even hit the snowbank on the side, not really entirely sure, but I guess it's their fault, so who cares? James got a few clips from the Victoria area, and this one is just pretty nuts to me, okay? So he's, pretty obvious. He's got his e-bike. There's a yield sign there too, and there's a green area, but he almost gets hit by two cars here who just failed to yield. And then in this clip, James has a left turn arrow, and both these vehicles go for it, even though they can see that he's trying to make his left turn in front of them. And then in this last clip, yes, it's okay to turn right over a bike lane, only if there's no bikes there. Julio recorded this video in Victoria, and it's a really good thing that he noticed there's a car coming, because this probably would have ended up in a T-bone accident otherwise. This video captured by Frank and Nanaimo is extremely confusing to me because I'm not sure if something else had happened prior to this video, but I don't understand why this car wants to be sandwiched in between a U-Haul and a massive truck. I just don't get it. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think's going on here, okay? Because I'm not sure if this guy is just in a rush. I know some of you say, oh, maybe they have to go to the bathroom or something. I don't know, because this level of driving is like next level. This guy is trying to overtake like 15 cars. This is coming out of Whistler because we all know this spot. There's a lot of people trying to leave, but they're willing to do crazy moves like drive up on the shoulder just to bypass everybody. So let me know in the comment section below what you think is going on here. This accident that Ethan was involved in was so avoidable. This driver up ahead, this blue car right in front, can see Ethan turning, yet will still try to occupy his lane at the exact same time. This is one of those bizarre situations where it's a red light, BMW driver knows it's a red light, but then their brain just all of a sudden tells them it's green and goes for it. You can probably tell that this driver is a tourist, they're probably coming from the UK, wanting to see the mountains in Squamish, thinking they're on the left-hand side of the road, which is the correct side, but only to realize, oh crap, I'm on the wrong side of the road, in the middle of a highway, and I have to try and do a U-turn. So this video I recorded on the Coquihalla, and I was thinking to myself 15 minutes before this video was recorded, no one uses these runaway lanes, and I drive past, and sure enough, this truck sure did. Here's a tip for all you drivers out there. Take a look left before you turn right. It might save you from getting an accident. Here's another one of those blood-boiling situations where it's pretty obvious that Evan has to merge here, and there's not that much space, but this Volkswagen driver is just so adamant on just trailing this car ahead of him and not letting Evan in. I don't know about you guys, but I want to be Sean's friend. He just seems like the nicest dude, almost gets hit by this truck, but take a listen to the audio.
That was close.
That was very close.
Woo! You're in a truck, not a car. It's a rental, I get it. That was like millimeters.
So this looks like a quiet back road in Vernon, and this truck driver, being the size that he is, has got to do a better job of just turning his head left before he turns right. And then the opposite is also true, where you've got to turn your head right when you're making a turn left, because this car ends up almost being run off the road by this white SUV. And then Jace also captures this clip, and I've got to say, whenever you're in a roundabout, you've just got to always expect that something like this is going to happen. And then our good friend Maple Leaf Rider was in Victoria and recorded this driver running this super late red. It's just painful to see how many drivers don't grasp the concept of staying in the lane closest to them when they make these left turns. And the funny thing about this as well is that they end up in the left lane later on anyways. Colton captures this driver in Langford just forcing his way through all of this traffic trying to turn left in front of him. The biggest question that comes to my mind when I saw this video clip is why? It's very obvious they're driving on the wrong side of the road. There's so many yellow lines everywhere, and there's a painted island, and they're just on the wrong side of the road for no reason. Here's another bizarre clip for you because this driver passed Grant. So he knows that Grant is there, but will just slowly merge into his lane anyways without even shoulder checking. And then remember, whenever you're driving in British Columbia on these side roads or on the Coquihalla, always, always, always keep your eye out for wildlife. Alright, that's it for the first episode of BC's Worst Drivers. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the thumbs up and also share this with your friends and family throughout the province. I would love to get the word out there that I'm doing these kind of videos and I would love more footage. So please do that for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much.